But yeah. What's the next topic we're going to talk about?
So, made potions, got more attacks. The Bone Collector.
Yes. Okay. So this is what he's got a whole bunch of different names. He went by so many different characters. He is by far my favorite NPC person I've ever met. I've only met one, but he is the best NPC the entire game. I loved all of his characters.
Mm-hmm. They were so good.
Explain the Bone Collector.
Okay.
Not Kostiak.
So
not Kostiak.
Not prefaced by not Kostiak. Very important.
She's the bone. What is her title?
Kostiak is the Aki. The Aki is just
Bone Crone.
the Aki.
We're just
but
grateful
the
to have
aesthetic
them on
is-
our side.
Yes, the aesthetic is like spooky bog bone witch vibes.
Ankle biter.
She does ankle bite. Yep, but she
Quite
also
literally.
will collect your bones. So if you she was a bone knitter originally, and so if she healed you, she'd be like, "Can I have your bones when you're done?" And you'd be like, "Yeah."
When
She'd be
you're
like,
done.
Cool.
You don't need these anymore.
Yeah. Thank you. But
I feel so much lighter.
so the crones are notorious for doing crone at this point. Just
The
one and
TM.
up
There's a
and doing
TM
things.
there.
Yeah, there is a TM. Crone TM.
Another t-shirt.
Well, one of them, Haika, gets it in her head that she wants to bring this undead that they've captured back to camp.
Wait, okay, that's what happened?
Yes!
Okay, I thought they were just there.
No, they were off in the field and we see them coming. Old Dwyn and I all happen to be near the gate. And we see them coming and I was like, no,
What are you-
absolutely not.
If only that was the only time a undead went into our camp.
Yeah.
So Old Dwyn and I all come out the gate and we're all like, no! No!
She was
What
like
are you
a
doing?
child bringing home a raccoon. Like, can I keep it? No.
That's exactly
But
it.
so much worse because this thing wants to kill us and make it one of its own.
Just like a raccoon.
It's just a feral kitten. A feral undead kitten.
So we have this thing captured, right? And we're like, okay, we're gonna question it. So we start interrogating it, and by we I mean Dwyn. Dwyn was doing the questioning, and there's just an entire circle of Vatican just keeping this thing pinned with a bunch of swords. We don't actually have to really do anything because he's more than willing to chat with us. You're still standing in the light, by the way.
Finish the story.
So we're having this chat with him. He's being funny. The Vatican are chuckling in a lot of instances, and she has to keep reminding us this is not our friend. Remember, we are here, and this thing is dangerous. And at the end of it, he just disperses and dissipates and leaves behind these bones. And Kostiak comes swooping in, full feral gremlin mode. She comes out of freaking nowhere and is just crouched over these bones. And we're like, don't touch them! Don't touch the bones! Don't touch them!
Bones?
The whole circle.
No bones. Bones? No bones.
Yeah, the whole circle's don't touch them. Because we've had so many cursed items. There's 4 cursed swords running around.
There's so much.
We thought Macaroni was cursed still at this point.
I'll explain the swords later, but...
Yeah. There's other cursed objects running around, and we're just assume it's cursed. And then we get confirmation from the Bone Collector out of game. They are not cursed. And the circle of Vatican just erupts in cheers.
Yay!
Yay!
It's not cursed!
And some of my favorite photos from game come out of that with Kostiak holding this really fancy sword for something else, and then just a bunch of bones with the look of absolute joy
Just
on her
glee.
face.
Maniacal
Just
joy.
maniacal feral gremlin joy. And it's so lovely.
So Halia gets the meat, Kostiak gets the bones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot I can do this.
I was also talking enhancing Holly's character because the kitchen crew had talked about setting up the kitchen in shifts so we can each go out and enjoy the game more. Like, because I'm also a bone knitter as well, which I didn't really get to play, which is totally fine, because, like, this is what I experienced was a great way to get into it.
I'll be honest, I didn't know you were a bone knitter. Otherwise, I might have gone to you a few times. I'm sorry.
Well, by the time you're there, you're already in camp, so you might as well just hang out and, like, recuperate from a fight and gain your
That's
your
fair.
health back that
But
way.
it would have been also more cinematic, it would have been... Food in video games is always how you heal.
Yeah.
So it'd been hilarious
It would've
going to the
been
food
nice,
person for heal.
Well, and that's what we have so many plans for the next game, as, like, with the healing and the bone knitting and stuff like that. But one of the things, like, I had no idea about the Bone Collector or Kostiak's, like, bone obsession. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And then she tells me about it. I was like, I'm gonna help do this.
So Kostiak likes long bones, and Heike likes teeth.
And I like fingers.
It's perfect!
And the
It's perfect. And arms. And so, like, what I wanted to do, like, I heard Kostiak, like, one of her healing things was crushing a cup to, like, for sound effects, like, for her sound effects.
Simulate, like, putting a bone back together or something.
Right,
Yeah.
like, replacing a joint. But what I want to do is, like, say, like, I can't heal your arm. You're gonna have to lose your arm. And, like, making that noise to cut it off, I'm like, all right, now Disney's perfect for this stew. And the whole time, their arm definitely could have been healed. But I only do that to, like, people who are not of the Vatican.
Dude, that's gonna be so funny. I want to see that next year. Please do it. Hot Striker, do it Hot Striker too, but...
Yeah.
We're gonna need multiple vehicles to go to Heart Striker this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I do want to talk more about the Bone Collector, or, as I knew him, Barley the Beggar.
That dude coughed up a storm. I could not go near him.
So, this was, this is a little bit anachronistic. We're gonna jump around a whole ton of times. I had multiple interactions with him. The first time, I believe... So, I thought he was a player at first.
Same.
I don't remember the first, like, I think the first time I met him, I didn't realize it was him, was after game start, like, the first or second night, he was talking about being the Bone Collector. I didn't know it was him at the time, and, but he was talking about, like, being the Bone Collector, and it's like, if you think I'm bad, what's coming is worse. You know, I'm like, because I believe he's the bone knitter equivalent.
Yes,
of
he is basically a bone knitter.
Yeah. So he's not even a hard hitter.
No.
And he can do so much bullcrap. He can do so much bullcrap, and he's just like the lowest totem pole, quote unquote. The first time I met him consciously was when he was Barley the Beggar, and that's when I thought he was a player. It was after the orc camp, and I was guarding the gate. No, actually, the first time I saw him on the field, just walking. And I was like, no idea that guy is. Why is he walking with a lamp? That's dedication. That's a player doing that for the entire week. Walking with a lamp as well as a cane. And he also had, like, bandages all over his face. Like, he was messed up. But then I talked to him later when I was the guard for the gate during the wedding reception.
We haven't even gotten there yet.
I know. It's like, I want to talk about him first of all his characters, of all my interactions with him. Because it's difficult to bounce back and forth and stuff like that. But, I spent so long talking to him at the front gate of the Vatican camp, and he was just so much fun. Just talking with him, having a blast. I gave him a whole bunch of silver, and at one point or another, he started helping me guard the gate. And it was like, okay, you can come in. He's like, okay, yeah, you can come in, yeah. And I was like, okay, you're good to go. And it's like, okay, over here. You put the weapons over there. Okay, you put the weapons over there. And it just copied what I did. So funny. And then the next interaction with him. So, I mentioned before, the Bone Collector, Barley the Beggar, and then finally, Barry the Bandit. It was after the whole thing with the prince and all that. I went back to my camp. I was grabbing something. I think I was just like getting a snack and just like resting. And I was in my tent when I heard a thunk outside my tent, and I was like paused. I just kind of look out. And I walk outside my tent. And I just look around, and so you know that like little corridor. There's a little corridor with a fallen tree, and I just look up, and there's a Vatican on the floor, and there's a guy in a robe with a bow about 10 feet away, and I poke my head out, and the guy looks up. We just look at each other, and we're like, what are you doing? I'm rabbit hunting. It's not a rabbit. I got bad eyesight. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I'm wearing the chainmail right now. And like I walk out with the axe. No. At the time I didn't have the axe. I had the claymore and my arming sword, the one that's up there. I borrowed a claymore from the Hakon and Feanor. Mm-hmm. And I was walking out, and like, yeah, sure. Okay, that's rough. I didn't know there's much rabbit hunting out here. That's a dude though. We should probably get him up. He's like, oh yeah, we probably should. And like he has his bow to the ground, and he's like raising it up slowly, and I just walk to the other side of that fallen tree that was there, and like we just kind of circle around it as he's like trying to shoot me, and we do a 1-4 circle, and he's on the other end. I'm like, I got between him and the Vatican that was on the ground. I have no idea the Vatican's name. I'm sorry, boss. I have no idea your name. And so I was like, how about a duel? Okay. I'll give you the bigger sword. Just make it fair. Awesome, sweet. And so I threw the sword across over the tree. So he put the bow down. Okay, fine. He put the bow down. He picked the big sword. And I had my arming sword. There's a big difference. There's like a good 1.5 foot distance between the two swords. And I was like, awesome. And so I did the whole thing. Hold on, we gotta make this honorable. How about a handshake? And so I did the handshake, and he went to pull away again, and I held on again. Sorry, boss, you're poisoned. Gosh darn. And he just like, gosh darn. And he fell to the side. It's like, yeah, that was good. You got me. And then like we talked. It was like, dude, that's all, because it was the same NPC that was the Bone Collector and Barley the Beggar. Like, such a cool dude. Love talking to him. And we just started talking out of character while the Vatican's just on the floor dead. We're talking the whole thing, and the whole reason he was out there is he didn't have any cash, or like he wanted to be looted by people, but he didn't have any money. And so I even though I won the fight, he was trying to rob me. I gave him money anyways.
It's a win-win scenario.
The win-win scenario. And then I went to the gate.